Probably he enjoyed my talk in Black Hat because my talk was the last one of the day, and he was in Vegas, and probably he was all the day drinking, and in the end of the day, everything was good for him. Well, first of all, thank you for standing here. It's very early in the morning. I would like to say thank to the people managing the conference because I got a lot of problems with my schedule. I needed to be the first one in the second day, and they did it. So thanks for having me here. The second thing is that I'm from Spain, and my friends told me that I'm crazy because in Madrid we are right now in 25 degrees, and I'm completely frozen today in the morning, and I'm not ready for special clothes for cold, and I'm crazy totally. So first of all, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Chema Alonso. I work in a small company in Spain, and we are the company who created Foca. How many of you know Foca? How many of you love Foca? How many of you are a Foca lover? Well, as you probably know, a Foca is a seal, and it's a tool for do tactical fingerprinting using open source intelligence, and you can do a lot of free version from our website. The second thing that I would like to say you today is that please come to Spain. In Spain, we are out of money. You know, we are Spanish. We've been partying all the time. We are not working. We are spending all the time drinking, lazing, and so on. So right now, Madrid and Spain is a big place in which you can spend your money. And this is Madrid. How many of you have been to Madrid any time in your life? And probably you love Madrid, isn't it? Yeah. Well, Madrid, but there are a lot of places. I live in Madrid, but there are a lot of places in Spain. I would like to show you some of them. This is Barcelona. This is one of the most beautiful monuments in Barcelona. This is a cathedral. Probably you know it because it's the Sacred Family in Barcelona. It's not finished yet. And we got another places in Spain like this. This is not the Caribbean Sea. This is very close to Spain. This is Ibiza. How many of you have been in Ibiza? Oh, the bad guys, the really bad guys. And if you want to enjoy Spain, there are a lot of places in the whole country. One of my favorites is San Fermines. Have you been to San Fermines any time in your life? San Fermines? Not? Well, San Fermines is the most big party, the biggest party in the world. And I don't like balls at all. Actually, most of the people living in Spain don't like bulls at all. But the party is not just running balls. If you want to run balls, it's easy. There is only one single rule. If you are drunk, don't run. It's the only rule. And the party is about enjoying. It's a 1 week party that you can enjoy a lot. There is only one advertisement that I would like to say you is don't do like the Australians. People living in Pamplona, which is the city of San Fermín, has a special tradition, which is cheat on Australians, and they have convinced to all Australian people, and half of the people in San Fermín are from Australia, that they need to jump from one monument in one small square. And the joke is that every year after year, one guy from Australia goes to the hospital because nobody is going to catch the guy when he jumped from the square. So if you go to YouTube and search for it, you will discover how is the trick. This is another party. It's Tomatina. The idea is fighting with tomatoes. We are from Spain. We don't make sense at all. And the job that I would like to, the word that I would like to present you today is something very similar to this. We are from Spain, and we got one idea. One day we got an idea. We wanted to do a botnet. How many of you have been thinking about creating a botnet anytime in your life? One day, with one friend, we were thinking about creating a special malware in Android and with the update, something like that. Well, it's something that is very, very attractive for anyone working in security, not just for managing all the bots, mastering all bots and search for porn videos and so on, which is very important. It's more to have knowledge about how to do it, how to build the botnet. It's the most important thing for probably most of us when we are thinking about creating a botnet. And we wanted to do that, but we are lazy. We are like these people. Look, energy power system that they are using with those 2 flip-flops. It's incredible. It's an Spanish system for creating the CPD. And we were lazy. We wanted to create a botnet, but we were lazy. We haven't money, of course, you know it. We are asking the German people some money to do the botnet. We haven't 0 days, of course. We are from Spain. Half a 0 days are very complicated stacks. You need to be studying a lot of years now. It's not for us. And of course, we are in the FBI, the NSA, or Google, Apple, or Microsoft that actually they are managing a big botnet called Internet right now. They got all the computers, all the smartphones, and so on. So we needed to create something different, something like the Spaniards, something in our own style. So we thought that the easy way to do a botnet is ask people to be in fed. So we thought about a website saying, please install this program. Is for a botnet. It's just for a security research. Just install this program and so on. Probably we will have success with that trick, but in the end, we were thinking about another tricks because it's quite simple to combine people to be in fed. So, sorry. One of the things that probably we love the most are the man-in-the-middle attacks. The idea of man-in-the-middle attacks is very simple. If you are in the middle of the communication, then you are managing all the communication and you can do wherever you want it. Right now, are very well known the spoofing techniques or the rogue DHCP, rogue Wi-Fi access point. Sorry, we are working in a tool that we are going to present next month. Is Evil Foca. Is like Cain. Do you know Cain? The man in the middle for IPv4 networks, but in IPv6. For the idea of this tool is just doing the same click, drag and drop. I want to be in the middle of this computer and this computer, and almost nobody is taking into account that all Windows machine, all Mac OS X machine, and all Linux machine are working in IPv6 by default. So probably you are connecting to your file server using IPv6 and you are still configuring the IPv4. It doesn't make sense, but you are still configuring IPv4. So we created that tool. The problem with this kind of techniques is that you need to be in the local area network. You need to be connected into the local area network, and it was impossible for us if you wanted to do the botnet on the internet. The second idea is to do something like the Russians. The Russians years ago created the browser helper object Trojans. The idea is that you are able to install a plugin into the web browser, then you are managing the whole communication between the browser and the internet. This is what Google is doing with the Google bar and Microsoft is doing with the Bing bar and so on. They are analyzing all your traffic and so on. This is one of the reasons because sometimes you have a robots.txt file saying to Google, don't index this directory, and Google is not paying attention to your robot.txt. That is because you are using Chrome and the URL is going to be reported to Google and so on. The problem with this, with man in the browser, is that you need to install a plugin. And right now, plugins are very well under surveillance. So there are a lot of tools analyzing the plugin. It's a binary file that you need to install in the machine, so it's very complicated. So the third thing that we were analyzing was to do a man in the tap. Okay, we cannot compromise the whole browser, but probably it's very simple to inject a simple JavaScript file into the tab. And with JavaScript, it's possible to do a lot of things. So the idea of creating a JavaScript botnet is not new. There are a lot of proof of concept about how to manage a JavaScript botnet, and the idea is quite simple. You only need to discover, I don't know, a vulnerability in the control panel, and then inject some JavaScript file in all documents. This is one of the things that crime exploitation kits are using right now. Black Hole and the rest of commercial tools for crimeware are using this trick. The other thing is just to discover a persistent cross-site scripting and then inject that JavaScript code, and all visitors are going to be fed with that JavaScript, and then you can use the power of all web browsers to do whatever you want and so on. So JavaScript in the middle is a good topic because you can access to the URL, you can access to the form fields, you can access to the cookies. Well, it's supposed not to be possible to access to the cookies when the cookies are HTTP only, but even using HTTP only cookies is possible to do some tricks to get that cookies using the error 400 in Apaches or using Java plugins and so on. There are some tricks to get even that kind of cookies. So we thought that JavaScript in the middle was a very good idea. There is also a project on the internet from one Italian guy, which is called Browser Exploitation Framework Project, BEEF, and it has a very, very powerful control panel, and the only thing that you need to inject into the website is a JavaScript payload, a small piece of code to connect to the control panel. It's very simple. In the end, we decided not to use BEEF because BEEF is very well known, and right now some antivirus are recognizing the JavaScript file which is in use by this control panel. So we decided to do something simple. So how to create a JavaScript botnet from the scratch? Well, the first thing that we were thinking about was creating a man-in-the-middle schema using Tor nodes. How many of you are using Tor nodes? Tor network? Well, we installed a rogue Tor node, and at the beginning it was working very well. So we were intercepting all communication in Tor networks because if you are the last node, you are the exit node, you can analyze all traffic. Of course, if you are the first node of the network, you can analyze also all traffic. So, oh, Wi-Fi. Yeah, great. Please. Well, it's not that bad. 15 minutes later, it's a Windows 8 machine. Well, in the end, it was working very well at the beginning, but people managing Tor nodes are very aware of that kind of attacks, and we were discovered because we were changing the DNS response at some point, and they were doing tests against all queries. The idea is quite simple. You need to query DNS using the Tor network and query the DNS not using the Tor network, and if there is some difference, then something bad is happening in your connection. So after several days, we were discovered, and we needed to take off the Tor node. So we think, okay, Tor is very complicated, but what about proxies? How many of you are using proxy servers on the internet to be anonymous? Please, hands up. Hands up, confess. If you go to the internet and you read any manual about how to be anonymous on the internet, the first line say, configure an anonymous proxy. How do you read it? Yeah, it's quite simple. And it's very, very easy to configure a proxy. So we decided to create a fake proxy. So the first thing that you need to do is buy a bulletproof server. Of course, take care about Pirate Bay, Amazon. Remember that Amazon kick out WikiLeaks server. Megaupload, of course, right now is out. So if you want to do this, you need to select a country with a special condition. You know that the law in internet is depending in the country in which you are working. If you are in Europe, you can have a network scanner and you are a criminal. And if you are in Iraq or Kazakhstan or whatever country around the world, maybe you can shut down the website and nothing happened. So select a web server in a country in which the law is different. Then just configure the squid proxy. It's very simple. The idea is just we are going to configure an squid proxy that is going to do something like this. When the client asks for a web, we are going to request the web. The HTML will be sent to the client perfect. We are not going to do nothing with the HTML file. And then when the HTML file loads a JavaScript file, we are going to intercept the JavaScript file and inject a special payload, which is only a JavaScript function with 2 lines of code. that connects that JavaScript to our control panel. That's simple. Only 2 lines of code. We decided not to do anything with HTML file because sometimes in HTML file you can configure a special tags to avoid JavaScript in HTML files, and we would like to be completely stealth. So we just inject a JavaScript file, a JavaScript function in JavaScript file to be more stealth. So of course, every time the payload is loaded in the tab, it's going to connect to our control panel, and we are going to send the payload. And the payload could be, give me the cookies, give me the URL, give me the form field, give me the password, crack this password, whatever you want it. So to configure this, the only things that you need to do is just to activate the URL rewriter in Apache to modify the files. Then we change the expiration policy. The idea is just to say, OK, please load the JavaScript file, and it's not going to be outdated ever. So always you need to load the JavaScript, load it from the cache. That's the idea. And of course, to infect all JavaScript, we created this Perl file. It's a Perl file with command injection, because it's for us. And as you can see, the only thing that we are doing is injecting the Pasarela JavaScript, it's a Spanish name, to the JavaScript file that the client is requesting to the web server. That's the idea. Quite simple. And the code, the lines of the function that we are injecting is something like this. The only we are reporting the URL to the control panel, and the idea is that we are doing a check just in case that in only one website you are infecting different JavaScript. So we create an object, and if the object in JavaScript is created, we are not going to do it again. That's the only trick that we are doing here. And that's all. Once you finish to configure your proxy server, you have to create an advice. So the idea is that we publish this advice in the proxy server saying, following proxy server is being used for a security research. All JavaScript files will be infected and your data will be collected. If you want to be safe, don't use this proxy. If you do that, don't send sensitive information. After all, you continue, do it on your own risk. Of course, nobody read it. But we took this trick from the US government. This is an FTP site in the US Army. And as you can see, the warning is the same. The following unsecure FTP site is for temporary uploading and download file for official government use only. Any other use is unauthorized. Use this unsecure FTP site is at your own risk. And the only security protection is just click on here. So if the army could do this, we could do it also. So then we got the proxy server. Then we got our IP address and our port, and we went to a anonymous proxy server list, and we published a new proxy server saying, we discovered an anonymous proxy server here. And we publish the IP address. And the day, 2 or 3 days after, internet do its magic, and the IP address was in 1,110 different sites, because all proxy server lists are copying one to each other. So in the end, just publish one proxy server in one proxy server list, and all proxy server lists are going to have your IP address, which is good for you. So once that your IP address is published on the proxy server list, the day after, you are going to have a lot of people connecting to your proxy server and requesting JavaScript files through the proxy server. So we created some special payloads, very simple payloads. The first one, just a cookie stealing, but not. We didn't worry about secure cookies. We weren't worried about HTTP only, just normal cookies. And of course, we created this small JavaScript function to hook all form fields and steal all data in form fields. So the idea is that with this function, we are hooking the submit event. So anytime a submit event is produced in a form, this JavaScript file is going to copy all information in the form fields and send it to the control panel. The idea is that there are on the internet thousands and thousands and thousands of websites in which the login page is an HTTP page that is connecting to an HTTPS program. But in the HTTP, you can steal all username and password. And that's all. Only doing this, we were able to have 4,000 and I don't know how many hundreds in one single day. It's not bad. So the question is, who in the hell is using this kind of service? Who is using proxy servers on the internet? You? How many of you? Well, of course, the kind of people who were using this kind of anonymous proxy server, most of them were bad people. First of all, the Nigerian scammer, and it's quite interesting. Of course, we were doing a security research, and we collect username and password of all those guys connecting through the proxy server. So we were connecting to their inboxes and analyzing the personal email boxes of anyone using this proxy server, and we discovered a lot of interesting things. This is one of my favorites. This is the one Nigerian scammer. The idea of this guy is, as you can see, the name Royal Hotel England at Hotmail. It was supposed to be a British agent who is selling a visa to work in the UK, and he was sending a spam campaign like this. Is a UK immigration work permit and visa services, requesting £275 to get the visa. He did the spam on India in this case, and as you can see, we were reading the answer of people. Some of the people were aware of the scan and were answering something like, "I respect your kind information for me about that job, but at that time my group clients are not to believe me for deposit that amount. So after you give me the clearance paper, probably I will send you the money." So most of people were aware of this, but others don't. And of course, people were sending the money and all documents. As you can see, the passport, the application form, the CV, all pictures, even the fingerprinting tips in a paper, a picture of high quality, and so on. So just doing an spam, they were able to collect money and do the easiest identity theft that you can create on the internet. So there were more than 20 people sending all this information in just one simple spam campaign. So the other one was this. when we were analyzing the data, we discovered guys some connection to social network for having relationships, and one of the profiles was this. The first thing that we thought was, "Oh my God, this girl knows how to use a proxy server." It's impressive. So after that, we were thinking, how in the hell is someone going to use a proxy server to connect to your personal profile on the internet? And the third one was, do you think that that girl really needs a social network to pull boys? Well, of course, that girl, Ancient Queen, who is living in Texas, was using different profiles. In this social network, which is Meta, where singles meet, she was pretending to be living in Texas, and she has 30, but in half of line, another social network, she was living in New Zealand, and she's 31, and in another social network, she's ancient queen, and she is living in Virginia, in United States, and in another social network, she looks like this. Of course, we were suspicious about that connection, so we decided to collect the username and password of that internet connection and get into the mailbox. And we were analyzing all the information. The funny thing is that this guy is pretending to be a girl, is a he, and he's pretending to be a girl, and he's very well organized. He has a different folder for different profile he is pretending to be, and in different folder he is storing all chats that he is having with all the victims. So it's quite nice because you can read the chats are incredible. Hello, sweetie. This is the bad guy. Hello, sweetie. Hello, my sweet mouse. How are you? How are you doing, sweetie? And the other said, doing. And she's one of my favorite. Of course, she is requesting 700 euros to book for a flight and go to the house of the victim and do a lot of sexual things, hard porn, believe me, and she's requesting pictures. Please send me your naked pics. I'm not sure what kind of pics are these naked pictures. Well, we were analyzing the inbox, and we were searching for Western Union. And as you can see, 158 messages requesting money from Western Union, and the emails were like this. This is the predator. Hello, sweetie. Why you have not sent me the naked pitch you promised me? And I can send you my naked pitch, and please don't show that only for your eyes, and so on. And the most important, and have also sent you my info for the Western Union. And the victim say, hello, baby, I don't know, but my bank manager asked me the other city and country. And it's not possible. Now it's not possible. So the address that the predator is giving to the victim, of course, is not the real address. So she is pretending to live in New Zealand, and then actually she is living in Germany. So at what point, if we go to the previous chat and you read the last chat, he is chatting with different victims at the same time, and at one point he starts to speak in German, I guess. Ich frage Sie das, when Sie doesn't. So it's quite interesting. And of course, this is the bad guy. And the email address was in German in a lot of places. Well, a lot of people doing this in social networks, using fake profiles. Well, another one, this is incredible. One of my favorites is the dog scammer. That guy is pretending to sell a dog on the internet. That's all. He is pretending to sell the same dog time after time. So he is publishing in all different of website for selling things the same picture of the dog. So we were scared what kind of dog he is pretending to sell. So please, if you are soft people, please don't see this picture, because could hurt your feelings. Because the picture of the dog is this. That guy should be in jail. Well, a lot of people pay money for this fucking dog. Incredible. Money. I send the money, where's the dog? The dog is just this. Incredible. Well, of course, we discover people on the internet psychotic, insane. This guy was searching for porn from column, and he was searching for mother, then rape sister, violent rape, violence, So we were about to send the IP address of that guy to the police in Cologne because that guy has a problem. More people searching, trying to be anonymous is quite interesting. They were using, of course, the famous what's my IP address.com. The idea is that, okay, for what is my IP, they are going to receive that his IP address, the IP address is our proxy server IP address, so he will say, okay, I'm anonymous completely. But of course, we are going to obtain the real IP address. So it's impossible for them to be anonymous, and they are using services like hideme.ru, and they are using the email address. I'm not sure why in the hell they are using the email address. So in the end, he is not anonymous at all, and we got the email address. We were thinking about to send an email to him. Hello. No. Well, a lot of people doing that. Another guy using the proxy server for us is a complete mystery. We are not sure what in the hell this guy is doing. There's a service on the internet which is paying people for reading news. So the idea is that if you read a blog post or a news on a special paper, you are going to retrieve some money. The idea is that you cannot automate this, just click, 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 because it's for a special web application that is analyzing the time, and you need to be reading the news that they were sending to you. And after 1 month, he was reading 383 articles. He earned $24. I'm not sure about this business. But the guy is still reading. So. Then we collect a lot of people connecting to social network, to the social profiles through the proxy server. And we were worried about what kind of people need to connect to a social network like Facebook using a proxy server. Of course, the first idea was quite simple. This is an stolen account, and the guy is connecting to the stolen account using a proxy server to be not detected. But after analyzing more accounts, we discovered a lot of Facebook accounts from the north of Africa and from special countries in which Facebook is censored. So the idea is that people trying to avoid the censorship are connecting to the social network using anonymous proxies on the internet. So if they try to connect to Facebook or any other social network using the normal internet connection, they are fucked by the government. And if they try to do it using a proxy server, they are fucked for the bad guys. So it's a tough story. And another amount of clients or our proxy server were hackers or hacks or defacers. You know, the kind of hacker who is changing the website, that are injecting a web cell and so on. The problem is that, the first time that we discovered one of them, as you can see, we got the information related to the web cell. We realized that we got cross-site scripting in our control panel, which was very bad. So the hackers are using the web cell through the proxy server, and the idea is that this is one of the hackers who were using our proxy server to be anonymous. I'm not sure why in the hell he wanted to be anonymous, if after all he is publishing his email address. I'm not sure at all. And the idea is that he was doing the defacement. It was in real time. He was from Turkey. And the problem is that he was using a web cell like this. Of course, we were able to discover where the web cell was uploaded. So in the web cell, as you can see, if you analyze the JavaScript files, there is a security.javascript file which is not in the original site. This is very common in web cells. There are a lot of web cells published on the internet with a JavaScript file which is stealing the web cell. So that hacker was using an infect web cell, and we infect that JavaScript. So in the end, the hacker who was hacking was hacked. Another kind of interesting result that we discovered on the internet was data related to intranets. And that was what a surprise for us, because we didn't think at the beginning that we were going to be able to retrieve any data from an intranet. But in the end, there are a lot of intranets that are using JavaScript files from the internet. So we cannot infect nothing on the intranet, but we can infect JavaScript files from the internet. In this example, this is an intranet from an ERP in a hotel. So the idea is that this application, this intranet application, is managing data from hotel customers. And as you can see, we got and the name. This is not a hotel. This is about something managing houses. I'm not sure what it is. And of course, we got the username and the password. Gustavo, we got your password. And the idea is that this guy connected to the internet through a proxy server, probably to bypass the proxy filter that the company is using on the local area network. So it's forbidden to connect to Facebook. It's forbidden to connect to porn sites or whatever. So this guy is connecting to the proxy server, connecting to watch porn, and after finishing watching porn, he is disconnecting the proxy server from the internet, but he is already infected. The JavaScript is in the cache. So if this intranet is using, for instance, Google Analytics or any JavaScript file to do very nice menus, then that JavaScript is infected, and is infected in the cache until he erases the cache. So after disconnecting, he is still infected, and we can collect all data, even if he didn't connect to this intranet site when he was connected to the proxy. Understand? Interesting. And of course, porn. We discovered a lot of people watching porn on proxy server. This is a nice story. It's in Spanish, because Spanish is better. It's a church in which the monks were painting cocks. So we discovered a lot of places for porn with username and password and so on. And we really discovered a deep internet that we previously didn't know about some special website like Chaturbate. It's like chat roulette, but only for turbate. So after analyzing all this information, we were thinking about how to extend the attack. So the idea is you connect to the proxy server and you do bad things, and after all you disconnect. But if you don't clean up your cache, you are infected. The problem is, what happens if I like to steal your bank credentials? Of course, no one of you are going to connect to your personal bank account using the proxy server. Of course not. But if you connect to any website on the internet, we can create a special payload to force you to download the JavaScript files of your bank. So you are connecting to a porn site, and we inject a JavaScript file who is sending request the JavaScript file of your personal bank. Then that JavaScript file is going to pass through our proxy server, and we are going to infect that JavaScript file with our payload. And the JavaScript file will be in the cache. So after finishing using the proxy server, you disconnect from the proxy server, do whatever you wanted, and 3 days later, you connect to your personal bank account. At that point, the web browser is going to analyze if you have in the cache any JavaScript file which is going to be needed for that website, and if you got the infected JavaScript file, then we are able to take all your password from your bank. Understand? So the idea is that we created in the control panel this. In this example, for instance, LinkedIn have a lot of JavaScript files that are loaded in the main website, in the front page, and in LinkedIn, for instance, has a lot of places with the login option in HTTP. Of course, then it's going to be a bridge connection to the HTTPS, but with the JavaScript, you are able to take the form field in HTTP. So the only thing that you need to do is to analyze what JavaScript files are loaded in every single page and create a special payload. So if you want to do a target attack on the internet or on a network in which you can do the same with a rogue Wi-Fi or rogue DHCP or a normal man-in-the-middle attack, then you only need to select the target, analyze the files what are going to be loaded, and then inject in the payload that all JavaScript should be downloaded even if you are connected to any other websites on the internet. And enjoy. An example of this with California Credit Union League, which is a bank on the States. As you can see, in the website of members, CaliforniaCreditUnionLeague.org, which is in HTTP, we got different JavaScript. We select this one, which is just a JavaScript file to analyze statistics and so on. Then we configure in our control panel, this is how it looks like, that anytime any user is connecting to credit control to any website on the internet, that JavaScript will be loaded for the client. So we are going to distribute this JavaScript file, this infect JavaScript file, to all people connecting to our proxy server. So the only thing that we need to do is just, okay, document write that JavaScript file. That's all. Then the client, after connecting to our proxy server, will obtain this JavaScript file with the payload and in the end. So after loading the infect JavaScript, he's going to disconnect from the proxy server. So as you can see, we select a port, a special port, nothing suspicious. After connecting with a proxy, if the user, if the victim doesn't clean the cache, it will remain infected. So after all, he connects to the website, and then we are going to retrieve the user and password in the website. So you can create any special targeted attack to any website, analyzing the URL, the JavaScript files, who is connected to your personal network, the country, whatever you want. It's quite simple to do this. So after analyzing all this information, we were thinking about our JavaScript botnet, and I would like to make clear about some points. We didn't worry so much about all security protection that the user or the website could have. For instance, we didn't worry about the tag or expiration timing. We didn't worry about to force an object to be outdated on the client, but it's possible to do that. There are a lot of research on the internet about this topic, about how to force that previously cached object will have an updated mark. Then we didn't worry also about HTTPS. It wasn't necessary to collect all this kind of data. If we were doing something with HTTPS, the amount of data that you can retrieve is huge. Of course, we didn't want to raise any alert, and we didn't have any Flame digital certificate or not a new digital certificate. But right now, this week is going to be published crime. Have you been reading something about crime? Okay. I'm not sure if you know it, but Giuliano has published the video about crime. So if I have internet connection, let me show you how it works, the demo, with HTTPS, because crime is doing the same with proxies. Okay, he's going to release the technical details in Echo Party this Saturday, next Saturday, but the idea is quite simple. The idea. So he's going to test it against three different websites, Stripe, GitHub, and Dropbox, and with HTTPS connection, as you can see. And then he's going to connect to a proxy server, a rogue proxy server, and all HTTPS data will be steal from the websites without raise any alert. So if you are thinking about connecting to a proxy server as a good idea, think twice. Well, right now it's connecting. No alerts at all. Everything is green. And then everything is green. Okay. Now, start the proxy service. And launch crime on the proxy server. Then connect to the proxy server. Everything is green. HTTP is normal. I think that they need some traffic to do the demo. And all the information related to the HTTPS connection are retrieved. Okay, the cookie. Well, it's impressive, but this is only for some guys like Giuliano and I. Okay, so the other thing is that probably most of you are thinking, well, we got no script in my web browser, so I'm not worried about that because JavaScript is forbidden in my web browser. Okay, I would like to point you to a work that was published by Mario Heiderich. The title is "Got Your Nose: How Hackers Steal Your Precious Data with Those Scripts," and he's using just a lot of standards which are in your web browser, as WDL, WML, WAP, and so on, to steal data from your computer. So even if you are using Opera in a Linux machine with no script or wherever you want it, it's possible to steal data from your computer. And another interesting thought is the Tamagotchis, or the smartphones. How many of you are able to erase the cache in the web browser right now, in your mobile, in your smartphone? 1, 2. How many of you have been deleting the cache of your web browser in the last week? 1, 2, 3. In the last month? Ever in your life? Well, with that kind of devices, it's an interesting topic because it's not easy to clean up JavaScript files. It's not easy to clean cache. Sometimes after deleting the cache, it's a long time consuming in the smartphone, and people switch to another task, and taking into account that background is not available in all smartphones, sometimes you think that you clean up your cache and the cache is still remaining in your mobile phone. And also having that these devices are designed to be always connected, they have some special unsecure option, like they are not checking at all the BSSI identifiers of the Wi-Fi, so only with the same SSID of the Wi-Fi network or with the same WEP key, the mobile is going to connect automatically to the Wi-Fi, so it's quite simple to put all them in a Wi-Fi connection automatically. Even taking into account that it's almost impossible to delete a previous connected Wi-Fi. If you are using iOS and you connected one day in a hotel in the States and you didn't erase that network when you were in the state close to that Wi-Fi will be remaining your mobile forever. It's impossible to delete that Wi-Fi. So any Wi-Fi with the same name, your mobile will connect automatically. So taking all these characteristics into account altogether, it's very easy to do this with smartphones like this in Wi-Fi network. So the problem, after finishing all this, were, okay, if we were able to do it, to create this in only one day, without using any special Zero Day, without using any special technology, just an IP address on the internet, on a 100 euros server on the internet, who in the hell could be doing the same on the internet? The question is, any of you think that all anonymous proxy server on the internet are not doing the same? How many of those anonymous proxy server on internet are belonging to the FBI, NSI, your government, my government? No, my government for sure not. It's Spanish. So, in the end, take care of man-in-the-middle schemas, take care of proxy, Tor, and of course, if you need to use it, do it carefully, and after finishing, clean up all your computer, destroy your virtual machine, and so on. And of course, take into account that virtual private networks are not a silver bullet. And that's all. Have fun in time? So, if you have any question, I will be in the coffee because it's my time. So,
see if this is on.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, I'm gonna do questions. I got some questions for you. Let's see if we. Why isn't this thing working right now? Hello. Let's throw it on. I'll do the other microphone. Here we go. Sorry about that. This is hilarious. I saw this talk in Vegas too, and it's just hilarious. But it's also very serious. But first of all, is this proxy still up?
Yeah. Yeah, the proxy is still up, but we changed the port. So the proxy server which is published on the internet is not working right now.
Why
but
not?
When we were doing the demo in Black Hat, the day after, someone published the new IP address, and in the next demo in DEF CON, we got 1,000 bots, and we decided not to show the botnet.
All right. Well, how much money did you make from this proxy?
Sorry, I need to go.
No, seriously, but on a serious note. First of all, I mean, it's very, very important to understand that it actually would remain in your cache. It will still be running. You move your system onto some other network.
Yeah.
You take it to your corporate network. This thing's still running. It's still stealing stuff from your internal network now. It's very important that you stress this so people understand it.
The problem is that after publishing this idea, the number of proxies that appear on the internet increased a lot. So the problem is that it's very easy to create this. It's only Apache, a Squid proxy, 2 configuration in Apache, 1 small piece of code. The code is published on the white paper that we publish on Black Hat. So anyone can do it.
And a lot of people are doing it.
Yeah.
Also, you don't really need the proxy. I mean, your proxy is good for infecting a lot of people in different places, but a Wi-Fi is just enough for a place like this.
Exactly.
So that needs to be stressed as well. It's just about being man in the middle. And that can be done in several different ways. So.
Yeah, and the good point of this attack is that it's so simple to create the JavaScript that for antiviral system is almost impossible to detect the infection file, because any one of you can create different JavaScript files. So how the antivirus system is going to detect what JavaScript function within the JavaScript file is a virus or not? If they try to detect that JavaScript function in the JavaScript file, they will probably have a lot of false positive, and they will have a lot of problem with clients, customers, so on. So it's almost impossible to detect this attack.
So it is a serious problem as well, even though it's really, really fucking funny. Questions from the audience?
Yeah, I was thinking that if you know what to look for, it should be pretty simple to go through all those, or a list of the proxies that are out there and check if they're doing this, if they're using a similar technique. Have you done that?
No, not my, but people working in WebSense were doing a test after our talk. They were doing the same trick that I told you at the beginning with the DNS. They were connecting through the proxy server, doing a get HTTP and download all files for different websites, and then connect them to the same website without the proxy connection. And they were analyzing, and they published a report with almost 20% of proxies were doing this, were manipulating at any point the HTML response pages.
More questions? You're not that tired.
Why didn't you use the man in the browser in the demo?
Man in the browser?
Yeah, like man in the tab.
To inject a file once you are injecting the JavaScript to install a plugin or something like that?
No, I mean like the man in the tab that you were talking about first. Why didn't you use that in the...
Man in the browser. To do man in the browser, you need to run a binary file on the machine, and you need to be approved by the user because you are installing a software into the web browser.
No, but I mean, like Beef, for example, has it in JavaScript.
Yeah, it's the same. The idea of Beef is the same that I presented. So you only need to inject a JavaScript file. The problem is that Beef is injecting a JavaScript file, completely a new JavaScript file, and we are modifying one of the JavaScript file download by the website. That's the only difference. Actually, when we were doing this research, we were in contact with the guy managing Beef.
Okay.
So, but it's the same idea.
There's got to be more questions about this. No? All right.
Thanks for a great presentation. It's really entertaining.
Thanks to you.
I was wondering, I think I know the answer to this, but I want to confirm it. CSP, would that do anything to this, to prevent this at all?
CSP?
The content security policy stuff?
From the web server?
Yeah.
Yeah. Web server can use the security policies, and the idea, if the client is taking into account that policies, it will detect that something happened with the botnet. Because of this, we didn't use the HTML files to inject JavaScript, because if there was a content security policy, then we will have an alert. So in the end, if someone was using content security policy and they got a special policy for JavaScript using hash function to recognize the real JavaScript files, probably will our JavaScript botnet won't be working on that environment. So you need to create a special configuration for that environment. Yeah.